Hello there, lovely folks of YouTube. Ren here. I'm doing a pajama vlog. I'm calling it this, even though I'm actually technically dressed. I'm in my pajamas in spirit. I was actually supposed to work today, and then I had an accident yesterday, which made me have to call off. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I kind of stepped through a soft board on my deck that I'd warned my husband about a few months ago, and he never quite got around to fixing it. Well, I stepped through it yesterday and just scraped myself up real good. Had to go in for my little tetanus booster because it had been 10 years exactly since my last one. It was one of those things on my to-do list, and that to-do list got hurried up. So anyway, long story short, I'm very low on spoons today. I wanted to make a video just because I was home and I felt like I needed to fill my time with something, but I didn't really have a specific plan. I have videos in the works, but a lot of those require me being outside, which I can't really do right now, especially with my leg being all janked up. But anyway, I wanted to do something fun. This is something that was kicking around on YouTube about a year or so ago, which predates my existence on YouTube, but I thought it'd be fun to do. I've seen other people make these videos. There was a hashtag going around, which is Get to Know Your Witches, and it had a series of 15 questions, which I've typed up my responses to here because that's how I usually work. I have to put things on paper first and then I work off of that. So I figured, what the heck, let's do that. I'll answer some of these questions for you and then you can get to know me a little better. So question number 1 is, does your sun sign or zodiac sign portray you correctly? If not, do your other planetary signs. So my sun sign is Libra, and sort of is my answer. I do definitely identify with the Libran pursuit of justice and fairness. My kids know that the best way to kind of get to me and, you know, get under my skin and be like, but Mom, it's not fair that, yeah, that's like the sure way to kind of win an argument with me, basically. If you point out that it's not fair, then I'll be like, oh, okay. And, you know, as long as it's actually not fair, then yeah. But in general, like, Librans tend to be portrayed as sort of like these clothes-obsessed airheads. So not me. So not me. I have a lot of other earth signs in my overall horoscope, which may be why. In general, I tend to identify more with my ascendant sign, which is Virgo. I definitely am a pedantic asshole who loves making lists. So yeah, that's me. That's more Virgo. So yeah, that's I guess that answers that question there. I identify with more with my ascendant than my sun sign, but I do really love fairness. So question number 2, what songs bring you the most magical vibes? So being a dedicant in Blue Star Wicca has its own set of liturgical music. I've been doing rituals with Blue Star for almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in August. And over the course of those 2 years, I've sort of been trained in almost a Pavlovian sense that those songs equal magical shit's about to happen. So those songs that we sing in Blue Star are really now one of the keys to kind of opening up those pathways and be like, okay, here we are, we're singing home again. That means magical shit's about to happen. So yeah, those are my songs that get me in a witchy vibe right now. Question number 3, which one of your deities / guides / ancestors is most sarcastic with you? If this doesn't apply to you, which of your tarot / oracle decks is? So I don't really have any deities or spirits or anything that are sarcastic with me, just flat out. It just doesn't happen. I don't know whether it's because of the deities that I work with or just because of my own personality and how I interact with them. But yeah, sarcasm really isn't coming into our relationship. As far as like tarot decks, I don't have any tarot decks that are really sarcastic either. And again, that may just be the way I'm reading things. And I just kind of like, whatever, you know, just how I read things. And it's not that sarcasm goes over my head. I freaking love sarcasm. But I don't know. It just doesn't enter into those kind of relationships. Now, I do have a tarot deck that is blunt as all shit, as I discovered this Yule, and it's the Crow Tarot deck. I actually got that as a gift for Yule as part of like the White Elephant exchange that our Grove does. And it being Yule, I was like, yeah, what the hell, you know, beginning of the year, let's do a tarot read and see what the year is going to be like. And yeah, that tarot read fucked my shit up. No other way to put it. I mean, in hindsight, it all makes sense. But like when you're in December and you're asking the tarot cards like, hey, what's the year going to be like? And it gives you the fucking Tower. Like, again, in hindsight, you're like, of course it was the Tower. But in December of 2019, that was like, whoa, 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 you know? So, yeah, super blunt deck. All right. Number 4, biggest witchy mess up or misinterpretation. I do have an instance, and I hesitate to call it a mess up. I think it was more of an overshooting. But yeah, I definitely feel like I kind of messed up somebody's shit. But in hindsight, like, I feel like they deserve it. So, little backstory. This was years ago when I first started as a witch, and I was still working in retail at the time as I was putting myself through school. And I used to keep snacks in my locker. I still keep snacks in my locker because I have a medical condition, and one of the things with that medical condition is I sometimes get hypoglycemic. So I have to make sure I have snacks and bring my blood sugar up. So I would have these little protein bars, and they were not cheap protein bars, and I would keep them in my locker at work because if I had them at home, the kids would just eat them all, and then I would have no snacks for work. So I was gone for a whole weekend, and when I came back, I found that my locker, and they were just like little basket lockers with like a padlock on it. Somebody had like literally wrenched and bent my locker outwards so that you could reach a hand into my locker, and they had stolen every single one of my snack bars except for the ones in the very back that you couldn't reach. It was like, I had a box of like 20 of them in there, and there were 3 left. I was hot. That whole day I was hot. You know, and it's like I told the manager, of course, and the manager like, you know, lined us all up and was all like, blah, 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 I hope you feel guilty, blah, 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 we're all supposed to be a family, and a bunch of shit that really didn't mean anything, and nobody was going to confess to it, of course. So, I went home, and I cast a spell. I don't know, I hesitate to call it a hex, but basically I was asking for justice. There was a spell, basically, and I don't even remember all the details. I wrote it down in my journal, of course, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. Basically looking for justice, and that they suffer some sort of repercussions for their actions. The person who I suspected, and I could never prove, but I suspected of stealing from me, ended up getting fired 2 weeks later. And as you can guess, with the extremely ineffectual management style that my manager had, it was really freaking hard to get fired. But he managed to get his ass fired. So, that solved my problem. Again, overshooting maybe, but I feel like justice was served. So, I don't know. You can call it a mess up, I guess, if you are a little more touchy-feely than I am, but he stole from me. Fuck him. So, anyway, let's move on. You can see this little dark side to me here today, huh? Number 5, would you write a book on your craft/spirituality? Why? If you already have, what were your challenges in doing so? So, yeah, I mean, I guess if push came to shove, I would write a book. I would probably want to feel like there was an actual market for it first. I obviously have no problem with writing. It's how I organize my thoughts. Everything that I'm talking about here, I've written out first. So writing kind of comes naturally to me. I enjoy it. However, that being said, I find that I do write best when I work on a deadline. I wrote a lot of papers in school that always had deadlines, and I really cranked those things along when it was 2 days before the due date. So I don't really feel like I want any deadlines in my life right now. So maybe not at the moment, but in the future, yeah, if people were interested and I felt like I had something worthwhile to say and to add to the conversation, then yeah, I would probably write a book. Sure. Why not? Why not? Why not? All right. Number 6. This is a fun one. If someone wanted to summon you to their circle, what 5 items would they need? This one was super easy for me to answer. A nice mug of hot tea, a cozy chair, a comfy blanket, a stack of books, preferably either gardening or witchy books, or both, and some sort of fruity gummy snacks like gummy bears. That's all you need to get me. That's it. Especially the gummy bears. Alright. Number 7, if you were a ghost, what place would you haunt? I would love to haunt my local botanical garden. First off, because then I would be there all year round, day and night, get to see the garden through all of its changes. It would be amazing. But second of all, also means that I'd be able to mess with people who try to mess with the plants. If you pick flowers, you walk off the path, you're stepping on stuff, I'm gonna haunt your ass. You bet. So you can tell that I put a lot of thought into this. Like some of these I was like, oh yeah, knew the answer right off away. All right, number 8. What is the funniest way someone has reacted to finding out you're a witch? I don't have a fun story for this. I'm sorry to say. I actually live my life despite what you're seeing here. My personal life is not connected to my YouTube life, and I try to keep myself, I'm not like in the broom closet, but I don't talk about it. All my friends know, of course, but most of them are like-minded witches themselves. All my close family knows, of course, my husband, my kids. Other than that, I don't really talk about it. And it's not that I'm hiding it. Like, I wear my pentacle at work. What you're seeing now, my septagram, I don't wear this at work because this has a cloth string on it, and I don't like to wear that at work. I have a pentacle, a silver pentacle on a silver chain that I wear at work. Nobody ever asked me. No, that's not true. One person has asked me about it, and that person I was very candid with and talked to them about it. But nobody's ever asked me about it. And if they don't ask, I'm not going to be like, hey, and interject with, by the way, did you know I'm a witch? So it's just not me. So yeah, I don't really have any fun stories for you on that one. It's very rarely come up. And when it has come up, usually it's been somebody just going, oh, that's cool. And that's it. So more camera issues as always. I have yet to figure out how to get this thing to consistently film an entire video when I make a longer video like this. But anyway, let's move on to number 10. Number 10 is, if you could possess any fantasy magic, what would your power be? So, I mean, honestly, a lot of them are great, I'm not going to lie. But if I was going to be completely honest with myself, I would want mind reading. And that simply just ties into that anxiety issue that I have, or if I could read minds, then I would know what other people are thinking about me and I wouldn't have to be anxious about it, right? So, yeah, definitely ties into one of my flaws there. But, yeah, mind reading, definitely 100%. Fun thing, actually, for those of you who play Dungeons & Dragons, my primary character in D&D is a 20th level knowledge domain cleric, and that's basically her whole shtick. Is she always knows what the hell is about to happen. She can read your mind like nothing. Yeah, like her passive perception is like a 28 or something ridiculous like that. But yeah, she's yeah, no anxiety issues with her. You never catch her by surprise. So you can tell that's where my energy gets focused. All that anxiety issues, so fun stuff. Anyway, that's enough about that, isn't it? Let's move on. Hooray for camera shutting off. Okay, but I know where I was. So, number 11. What is something random on your altars? An owl piggy bank. That's my random thing. It belonged to my maternal grandmother. It's one of the very few things that I have from her. A lot of things that I got from my maternal grandparents kind of got handed down second and third hand through my aunt and then my cousin and then to me. So I do have a number of things from them, but that's the one that actually has the most meaning to me. And it fits on my altar, of course, because it's on my altar that I use for my dedications to Minerva. So makes sense to have an owl there, right? It's kind of funny because the owl piggy bank kind of is twice as big as Minerva's statue, but it is what it is. So it's cute. I like it. But yeah, owl piggy bank. All right, number 12. If one of the YouTubers you watched was a genie and they could grant you 3 wishes within their power, what would it be and what wishes? Can't be for more wishes. So, okay. My initial response to this was very off the cuff. It's like, well, if they're a genie, then obviously I'm going to ask for shit that genies can give. Like, I want enough money to be able to live comfortably and buy that huge parcel of land so that we can build the pagan commune that me and my friends always talked about. And I want to make sure that I live a long life that's free of any major illnesses and, you know, those kind of things. But I know that's not really what this question is asking about. So I would say probably Annie, the Green Witch. Basically all I would want to do is just hang out at her place just so I could see her house, because the little glimpses that I've seen in her videos look super nice. But yeah, I'd just like to hang out and have tea with her in her house just so I could see her house and we can just pick each other's brains about plant shit. That's basically it. I'm easy to please. I don't need anything fancy in my life. I've already got good stuff. So, all right, number 13. If you could instantly become an expert in any part of your craft / spirituality, what would it be? Astrology, honestly. I dabble. Like, I know a little bit the generalities of like what the zodiac signs are, because of course there's all the memes and all the, like, you know, this is the Libra aesthetic and all that kind of stuff. And I know a little bit about the planets, just in like very vague generalities. But there's so many aspects of plant lore that tie into astrology that I feel like I'm missing out on a lot by not having a firmer grasp of that subject. So yeah, but there's so much to study. Jesus Christ, it's so hard. And it uses math, and it's not that I have a problem with math, it's just that it's like geometry math, and I never liked geometry. So I was a calculus girl, I hated geometry. Ugh. Anyway. So yeah, astrology is my answer to that. I wish I could just like snap my fingers and be like an expert and know everything I need to know, but alas. All right, number 14. When you die, what do you think will happen to you or your soul? So this is actually something I'm pretty agnostic on, to be perfectly frank. I'm going to probably badly paraphrase Robert Heinlein here. And basically, you know, his quote was something along the lines of, we're all going to die eventually and find out, why worry about it before then? So, and that's basically my stance, is that I don't worry about it before then. I'll find out eventually. That's good enough for me. I do believe that there's something, just looking at just the most basic, you know, the law of conservation of energy. Energy can be neither created or destroyed, and all we are is basically meat sacks that are running on electrochemical energy. That energy came from somewhere, that energy has to go somewhere. But other than that, I don't really worry about it, to be honest. Which is kind of funny because, like, in my religion, Blue Star, one of our tenets is reincarnation, but we never specifically specify what that reincarnation has to look like. It could be actual reincarnation, as in the reincarnation of the soul, or it could just be some aspect of yourself living on, like through your teachings and through your children and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I don't worry about it. All right, last one, number 15. Where do you see yourself spiritually in the next 5 years? Well, next 5 years, basically, I hope that I'll actually be a first-degree priestess and witch in Blue Star Wicca. 5 years seems like a reasonable amount of time to get through neophyte. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll happen. I say that very tongue-in-cheek because my particular grove has one neophyte and one priest now. And the priest was just recently elevated, and that priest had been a neophyte for about 5 years, which is not normal. It's not normal. But things, I don't know, whatever. Things seem to be taking longer than they should be. And now, of course, with COVID, who knows? So, but yeah, hopefully 5 years I will be finished with neophyte and be a priestess and first degree priestess in Blue Star Wicca. Other than that, you know, spiritually, I hope to, I don't know, just know a little bit more and be a little more sure of myself than I am today. I guess that's really all that any of us can ask for. So, anyway. That's it. That is the Get to Know Your Witches tag. I believe Little Cosmic Crow is the one who first put this out. So thank you for that. Hope you all got to see a little bit more of me. That, I don't know, it's a little more personal, but not too personal, you know, because there are things that are too personal for me on the internet, definitely. But this was fun. So anyway, I hope this video finds you well, and I will see you again soon.